All right, I'm gonna do a quick chapter review for let me see, Black Clover, chapter 364, titled "Do or Die." So we go a little bit into the past before the Black Bulls confront Damnatio. We see the Witch Queen telling the Black Bulls that even though her divination shows that where Asa's at, it also shows that if nothing is done, the world will collapse. But Lucius did try, however, to get rid of Asa before he began his whole operation. So Asa must be the major threat, is what Noct is saying. So then all the Bat Bulls collectively agree that no matter what, the doors of fate must succeed, and so they must buy time, and that supposedly that their opponent is stronger than a Supreme Devil. So we'll see how the Black Bulls will go against a threat this big. And seeing how it's Damnatio, they are kind of familiar of Damnatio abilities. So we see that they all agree that they all have to defend it with their own very lives. So we see who all is in the fray is Zora, Sacred Gosh, Noct, Luck, Magna, Charmy, Henry, and Gordon, and Gray. So only two people that are not there is Vanessa and Finral because they're part of the door, um, the whatchamacallit, the door ritual to get that open for Asta. And so Damnatio try to use skill dominate to regulate their magical power, but Henry and Gordon counter that with their magic absorption, where they can selectively choose which person to absorb their magic from. And so then, with that kind of acts as a counterpart. So now the Black Bulls are trying to go all out until Damnatio pulled out a sword called the Judgment. That's a pretty cool looking sword. It's just a side tangent for me. Like like it's like like it makes sense them conjuring like spells for like weapons and whatnot, but like how is it that whenever these mages get swords, they just kind of know how to use them? I mean, like, sure, like, we see in the future pages that Damnatio just swinging the sword, like, he doesn't know any sword techniques. But it just seems like that um, he's just so casually familiar with a sword. And it's funny because, like, when Asa got a sword, he had to actually be trained how to use it. And the person who trained him was Fonzel. And Fonzel magic kind of consists of, like, using it as a weapon. I mean, that's not really a major gripe to me, but I just find it funny how like almost like the next level up for a mage is to like summon a weapon, and supposedly they know how to use a weapon. Like how Noah knows how to use a lance, then the sword. How you know how to use a sword, a bow, a halberd, and a shield all at the same time. But I digress. I don't mind it. I just find it funny how like the the next step of a magic spell is like an actual physical weapon with a whole bunch of magical power. But like I said, I don't mind it. But next panel we see after he summons the sword of judgment, he just take two slashes, one vertically, and then proceeds with a horizontal slash, and we see it splits the very Black Bull base in four pieces, leaving Henry and Gordon severely damaged. And then Damnatio spits fire with this cool quote of him saying, without the sword, the scales are powerless. Without the scales, the sword is mere violence. In other words, scales backed by a sword are the foundation of order. And I like that because it make a lot of sense. Because like if people try to make order without any like sort of weapon, then people really won't hold up to the order because there ain't nothing for them to to be worried about. But if people try to like rule with a sword, then that's just mere violence. Because then you're just swinging around a sword without really any making any rules for people. So with both of them together, it's kind of like a perfect balance. Like you have the sword to enforce the rule, but you're not gonna really use the sword. It's just there just to keep people in place. And you have the orders to where people can actually know what to do and keep them in place. So I thought that was a cool quote. Um, but then the Black Bulls start saying that no matter what he does to us, even if it kills us, we won't shut down the magic absorption. So Gordon and Henry's gonna keep that locked down to make sure that that magic don't get regulated. And we see Knock go into uh, Canis and feline mode combination. And he also used I think it's called Pack or Hunt Pack, where he summoned all those canine clones. And we see multiple copies of Gray on each and every one back to make sure that whatever damage they take, Gray can just transmute it back into their regular peak form. Then we see the Angels shooting off their magic. We see how some of the Black Bulls combat against it. Sekre seals the one. Zora absorbs it with his trap magic. And we see the other Black Bulls going on. And we get this cool double page spread of like them attacking and whatnot. Like we see Luck going in for a kick, which immediately cracks one of the Angels. Basically, it seemed like he's just basically just one shotted. But at the same time as Luck strikes, he also get attacked with a beam from another Angel across the other side. And the same thing happened to Magna too. Magna goes after a different Angel. He strikes that with like I guess a magic cannonball, but he also gets attacked at the same time. But even though they both got attacked, they still get him back up, heading straight towards the next Angels. And we see them just going at it, getting closer to Damnatio. Damnatio gets a little bit surprised, seeing their tenacity of how hard they're fighting, even though they're getting like critically damaged by these Angel attacks. And so, Kira then slashes both Noct and Zora, trying to whatchamacallit, trying to incapacitate them. Is that the word I'm looking for? I think it's incapacitate. Or no, incapacitate them. Both slashing them. One seemed like Zora's attack seems to be he got hit in the abdomen. That's sort of the same thing with Noct and maybe a bit above the chest. But we see that Gray is still behind both of them. So even though they get attacked, they get right back up. So then Kira starts thinking, saying that do these people intend to hold out with these desperate suicide attacks, calling them fools? And then he realized that that woman's restoration supports them, which is Gray. And then we see Ghost, and then Kira says, and that man's magic is making copies of her. So then Kira directly goes straight towards the two sources that are keeping all the Black Bulls alive, and he found where Gray is at. I don't know if Gray is either hiding within the sheep or she transmutes herself into a sheep. I'm not exactly sure. But Kira instantly finds Gray, saying that you must be the real one. Gray identity gets revealed. Magna calls out to Gray in terms of desperation. And as Kira raises his sword, we see a magic mirror appear behind, or maybe beside Gray, as Gauss appears and try to stop, or try to push her out the way from the attack. Excuse me. But they both get strike at the same time, seeing how they both seem to be dealt a fatal blow to their abdomen, like life threatening. Like I think this is worse than Gus getting stabbed in the chest, because like it seems like they're cut in half. And then we see Finro and Vanessa struggling, saying to hurry up, that they're almost there. And then the next page we see Gosh and Gray with their lifeless bodies just dying out. And just one thing I like to say, like I think out of all the Black Bulls, I think Gosh is my favorite character. Um, despite the relation with or not the relation, like the relation between him and Mary is, I think it's okay. It's just on his side, his perspective of it, and his complex, which is the weird part. But that part, like that part, I'm not really fond of. What I'm fond is like his character. Like other than that, how like he kind of speaks a little bit of truth. It's like how he kind of helped out Gray, how he was kind of like talking about his past and whatnot. I kind of like that part of him, like his character, other than his little stick and his complex and whatnot. But I think his character is pretty cool. So I do find it kind of sad that he goes out. But like at least he kind of went out with Gray, because like near the Spade Kingdom arc, Gray kind of confessed her feelings toward Gosh. So, but I don't know if Gosh ever even was even told about it. But it kind of is a sad way for them to go out. But at least they went out together. And I don't know. I mean, me personally, I don't care if they come back alive. That's better for me because, like I said, I like Gosh, and I kind of like the relationship that's going on between the both of them. But it's all just on how to buy one good with this. If he brings them back, I'm fine with it. If you don't, that's fine too. Cause then people will put this on their stake list to show that there's evidence that there's our stakes in this art. Me personally, I couldn't care less. I'm still liking the story. But we see right after Ghost and Gray are defeated that all of Ghost's clones of Gray start disappearing, and Gray magic is unable to support them. So the rest of the Bat Bulls get decimated, and Ryu seen with his Tengetsu. I can't remember what it's called right now, but his eye, his special eye. Also, trying to ask Ryu, to explain to him what's going on, saying isn't it time yet, and where are they? Ryu just in silence with a disgruntled face, kind of giving Asa the idea that everyone might have not, successfully went through the plan due to some, obstacles in the way. But in the last page, we get this cool double spread of Nero coming in clutch with a type of sealing magic spell, where I guess she kind of seals their I want to say she still their damage because it's still heavily severely injured, but I guess she's still like excuse me, she still like I don't know. I guess how am I trying to put this? It's like she sealed their life, if that makes sense. Like kind of like like zombies, like undying, because like their body is still injured, but they're still getting back up. So they're kind of like zombies. Like, even though they may feel pain, their bodies might, be broken in pieces, they'll still get back up because Nero's sealing magic still, putting them together, which I think is cool. And also, this panel just makes it even more cooler how they're getting back up. Seeing Lux still with a smile on his face, Zora, Charmy, Henry, Gordon, Noct, Nero, Magna, like they all look cool, and I can't wait for the next chapter. I'm not really don't know what to expect because after Gaussian Grade death, I don't know if they're gonna survive this. Like, I don't know if they're all gonna die or not. Like, they might just die, and that would be crazy if like the only survivors of this arc for the Black Bulls is just Feral and Vanessa and Noel. Cause like it seems like everyone else just might really die just for this plan to go through. But we have to wait and see. I mean, I feel like maybe Zora and I don't know about Zora. I think Zora used all he got, but I think maybe Luck and Magna can pull something off because Magna hasn't got the chance to use that death match spell yet. Not can probably use all combination of his four demons. Sakurai, I think Sakurai using the best she got with the sealing magic. Um, Henry and Gordon, they're doing the best too with their selective absorption. I think Charmy gonna have to, get on her A game because Charmy the only one that's kind of lacking behind. We haven't seen Charmy do her, hybrid transformation and pull out the wolf yet. But then again, Charmy was supporting Gray by having her eat the food magic to restore her, her magic. But since Gray at the picture, I guess Charmer can go all offensive now with the wolf. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully the next chapter, because if Charmy does do something, maybe we get like, a little bit of a sneak peek about doors and whatnot. That would be cool. But I don't know what to expect for the next chapter. I am kind of hyped for the next chapter to come out because I really want to know what happens next. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I get this chapter I want to say a 8 out of 10. I really like this chapter. Like I said, because I'm only giving an 8 out of 10 because I wish there were more pages. But that's pretty much it. I like this chapter a lot. It was a cool chapter to show off the Black Bulls, seeing to show that the Black Bulls are still relevant, and see that there might be potentially a active and permanent death on their side. I mean, we already got Jack, but Jack and the Black Bulls are the same thing. They can probably come back alive. But like I said, it doesn't matter to me. Still, the story is fun to me though. But either than that, that was a good story, a good chapter. I liked it. Can't wait for see what happens next. All right.